Okay, good afternoon guys. Again, I'd like to welcome you to my channel. This is your Prof. Zeus, and for this afternoon, we'll be discussing about, again, fundamentals of accounting. If you're seeing this book, this is actually my unpublished book for fundamentals of accounting intended for ABM students. Okay? So ngayon, pag-usapan natin, no, we're done with the statement of financial position. Pupunta naman tayo ngayon sa income statement. No? Okay. Now, ano ba yung income statement? Okay, so income statement actually is a statement that shows the performance of the company within a specified period of time. So for example, for 1 month, for 2 months, no, or for say half year or a quarter or even one whole year. Okay, so yun yung income statement. It shows the revenues and expenses incurred by the company, no, in generating the revenues, and of course the resulting profit or loss during the period. Okay, now sa income statement, of course, you have to be guided by what we call the matching principle. Okay, meaning we are matching the cost against the revenue that we have generated, no, during the period. Kaya dito pumapasok yung ating tatlong expense recognition principle. Okay, now ano ba yung three expense recognition principle natin? Number one, yung tinatawag nating direct association, no? Direct association nung revenue tsaka nung cost natin. So dito, we recognize the cost that is directly associated with the revenues that we have generated, no? Example of that would be the cost of goods sold. So we recognize the cost of goods sold in the same year or the same month that we recognize the revenue, okay, from the product that we were able to sell, no? And then number two is systematic and rational allocation. Now, ano ibig sabihin nun? If there is no direct matching between or association between the revenue and the cost, you can still treat an item as an expense, no, using the systematic and rational allocation. What does it mean? We can allocate, if there's a way to allocate the cost of the asset or whatever that is, no, among the or in the period that we expect to benefit from the use of the asset, then we allocate the cost of the asset, no? An example of this would be depreciation. So depreciation, no, there are depreciation charges that may have direct association, no? Pero yung mga, say for example, office equipment, na transportation vehicle, no, there's no direct association really, but since we're using the asset and since we are benefiting from the use of the asset, then we can expense depreciation using the systematic and rational allocation. Now, the third one is what we call the immediate recognition. So in the immediate recognition naman, okay, well, there's no direct association between cost and the cost or the expenses and of course the revenue that we have generated, and we cannot allocate the expense, no, over a period of time. We still can charge it to expense using the immediate recognition principle. So here, say for example, the item is so small that charging it into an asset account and then gradually reducing the value of the asset through depreciation would be very say laborious for the company. So wag na lang nating i-charge asset. We can just charge it to expense, no, using the immediate recognition principle. Okay, so in the income statement, we will find the result of the operation. Sabi nga natin, revenue minus the operating expenses is equal to your income or net loss. Okay, so this is the basic formula, no, for in our income statement. What's happening? Yan. Okay. Now, this is an example of an income statement. So again, you have the title, the company name, okay, because of the entity concept, and then of course for the month ended January 31, 2018. Okay, now this is what, because of the periodicity or the time period concept. Okay, so here this is a one-step income statement wherein we show the revenue and then of course the operating expenses. Now there's no hard fast rule, no, when it comes to presenting the income, the expenses, but siguro mas maganda kung ipapresent mo siya, no, na from highest to lowest. However, if you have miscellaneous expenses, that is always presented as the last item, no, in the or among the operating expenses. Kahit na malaki siya, no, mas maganda pakita mo siya as the last item in the income statement. Okay? So yun lang naman yung sa revenue. No? So let us solve some exercises here. Okay? Okay, put SFP if the element is statement of financial position, or IS if it's income statement. Okay? Service income, IS. Accounts receivable, this is what? SFP. Bad debts, this is IS. Salaries and wages, this is IS. Office furniture and fixtures, that is statement of financial position or balance sheet. You can see. Ganyan na lang natin. No? Yan. Then prepaid rent, that's SFP. Office supplies and use, this is again the statement of financial position. Capital, statement of financial position. Accounts payable and salaries payable, that's a statement of financial position. And then allowance for bad debts, this depreciation expense is income statement. Allowance for bad debts is statement of financial position. Accumulated depreciation is statement of financial position. Miscellaneous expenses is income statement, and then land is statement of financial position. Okay. Now this one, the table actually aims to what familiarize you with the formula, no, for the income statement. So the relationship is revenue minus expenses is equal to either net income or net loss. So if revenue is greater than operating expenses, then the resulting figure is net income. If, however, the operating expenses is greater than the revenue, then the resulting figure is a net loss. Okay? So 10,000 revenue minus 5,000, you have a net income of 5,000 pesos. Revenue of 120, and there's a net income of 30,000. So therefore, our operating expenses is how much? It's going to be 90. No? Now, operating expenses is 65, but we have a net loss. So therefore, magkano yung ating revenue? Mas mababa than 65, right? So 65 minus 20, this is 45. Yeah, 45 minus 65 is negative 20. And then you have 540 revenue, and then 410 of expenses. So therefore, the income is 130,000. Okay? So yun. Now, there's an item here sa baba, no? Makikita nyo. Ito na lang. Yeah. So we have here, so this is 630, and then the resulting net loss is 810. So therefore, magkano yung ating expenses? Tingin nyo. So that would be 810, no? So magkano siya? That's 1,440,000. Kaya 600 minus 1,440,000 is negative 810 pala siya. Sorry, plus 610. So 1,420,000. No? That's the answer. Okay. Okay. And then dito, sabi niya, revenue wala, and then expenses is 400,000. And then the net income is 20% of revenue. So if this is 20% but revenue is not given, the only item given is expenses. So therefore, if this is 20, this is 100 less 80, so this is 80 is equal to 20. So therefore, magkano yung revenue niya? So if we divide this by 0.80, we get the 100%. So revenue is 500,000 minus 400. So this is 100. So 100 divided by 500, that's 20% of the revenue. Okay? So yun. So here, again, these exercises will familiarize you with the income statement preparation. No? So yun. Okay, let's have this theory questions. Yan na lang para mabasa nyo. Basa ba? Or ganito. Okay, sige. So theory of accounts, okay. So the statement that shows the results of company's operations for a certain period of time is income statement or statement of income, letter B. The account used for the income generated by service business, that is service income. Which of the following is not an income statement element? So you have revenue, land, salaries, and then interest income. Remember, income statement shows the income and expenses. So alin dito ang hindi income or expense? That is land. This is what? This is shown as part of your statement of financial position. Which of the following is not an operating expense? So alin daw dito? You have communications, utilities, accounts payable, rent expense. So the answer is letter C. Okay. Next, which of the following is not an expense recognition principle? So you have immediate. This is expense recognition, direct association, yes. Systematic and rational allocation, yes. So therefore, okay, lahat kasi yan ay expense recognition principle, no? So number 6, which of the following expense is recognized under the direct association? So commission expense paid to agent, depreciation, repairs and maintenance, or none of the above. What do you think, guys? Depreciation is what? Allocation. No? Systematic and rational allocation. Repairs and maintenance. This is what? This is recognized as an expense using the immediate recognition. So that's going to be letter A. Commission expense paid to agent. Now remember, why A? Remember that commission is a function of revenue. Now you will receive commission only if you have revenue. So therefore, there's direct association between the revenue and the expense. No? Yeah. What else? Which of the following expenses recognized under the systematic and rational allocation? So that would be the depreciation. Okay. Next, net income is the what? Okay, the excess of revenue over operating expenses. An income statement, o alin dito, shows the financial stability of the company, shows the assets, shows the results of operations, or none of the above. The answer is letter C. Okay. Huwag ni number 10, putol sa kabila. So, sarap niya tayo magsagot. Okay. Okay. So, revenue for services rendered for the month of June 2018 amounted to 350,000. If operating expenses is 85, how much is net income? So, that's going to be 350 times net income ang tinatanong. So 100 minus 85 times 0.15, that would be 52,500, or letter B. Okay. Net income for the 12-month period ended December 31, 2018 is 600,000. This is 40% of the total revenue from services rendered for the year. So okay, so meron siyang net income na 600,000. Okay. And this is 40%. So meaning this 600,000 is just 40% of the total revenue. So therefore, if we divide this by 0.40, you will get 1.5 million as the total revenue for the year. Okay. Using the same information in number 2, how much is the total operating expenses? So therefore, if this is the revenue and the income is 600,000, so therefore if we deduct 600,000, therefore the expenses is 900,000. Letter C. Number 4, total assets of Teresa's architectural firm increased by 200,000 during the year. Liabilities also increased by 600,000. There's no additional investment made during the year. Okay, so the question is, how much is the net income during the period? Okay. Now remember our accounting equation, guys, no? Na assets is equal to liabilities plus equity. So anong sabi niya dyan? Total assets increased by 200,000. Okay. And then the liability also increased by 60,000. So therefore, equity must have increased by 140,000 for the equation to be balanced, no? So therefore, this equity portion, no? There is no additional investment made. Okay, I think this is the equity portion. I think the question here is the equity, not the net income, no? I think the question here is the equity. How much is the equity for the period? Okay. Next. Number 5. Service fees during the month amounted to 67,000. Okay. So service fees, this is the income, which is 67,000. Now, if net income is 30% as a percentage of service fees. So if this is 30, this is 100, right? So this is 70. So the question is, how much is the net income for the month? Okay. So how much is the net income? So that's going to be 30% of 67. So 67 times 0.30. So therefore, this is 20,100. So 20,100 minus 67. So therefore, the expense is 46,900. So the question is, how much is net income? 20,100. Okay. Here, operating expenses, that's 46,900. Okay. Okay. So, yun muna yung sa ating income statement. Okay? Thank you very much and I'll see you again in the next session. Bye.